So here we have the Asus TUF Gaming B550M Plus Wi-Fi motherboard. So opening it, we got the Wi-Fi antenna, and going underneath this carton cover is the motherboard itself, wrapped in a anti-static bag. More on that in just a bit. So once we remove the carton, we can see more things underneath, which includes the driver CD, a quick start guide, as well as TUF stickers that you can stick to your case, I guess, some certificate reliability sheet, and as well as the user manual for our motherboard. We also have the standoff and the screws for our M.2, as well as an adhesive pad if ever you wanted to stick an external heatsink to your M.2. And lastly, we got a couple of SATA cables as well as the backplate for our rear I/O. So onto our board now, let us first remove the anti-static plastic. And for those who are still not aware, this is a Micro ATX motherboard. And actually, I'm quite happy now as board partners like Asus are doing premium AM4 Micro ATX motherboards now. So taking a closer look, starting with the bottom part of the motherboard. So first we have the HD audio, followed by the addressable RGB and then the regular 4-pin RGB. Then we have the first chassis fan, followed by two USB 2.0 ports. Then our front panel header, so we have the power, reset, LEDs. Then we got 4 SATA 6 gigabits per second ports. Going now to the right side, first we got the only illumination on this motherboard, followed by the USB 3.0 header, and as well as the 24-pin power connector. This board also has 4 DDR4 DIMM slots that can support up to 128 gigs of memory and a max OC of 4600 MHz. Now on the top part, we can see our second 12V RGB header as well as 2 CPU fan headers. And at the same time, we have the aluminum heat sinks for our SoC VRMs as well as our 8-pin EPS power connector. For our left side part, we can see the heatsink for our VCore VRM, and more on that later. Let us first check the M.2 and PCIe part of the motherboard. So we got 2 M.2 slots, one supports PCIe Gen 4 by 4 lanes, then the one with the heatsink is a PCIe Gen 3 by 4 lane. These two also support SATA mode. Then we have the B550 chipset. So for our PCIe lane, first we got a PCIe Gen 3 by 1 lane on the first slot, followed by the PCIe Gen 4 by 16 slot on the reinforced one. Then lastly, another PCIe Gen 3 by 16 running on X4 mode. And by the way, the second chassis fan of the motherboard can also be found here. So going back to our VRMs, again, these are aluminum heat sinks with fins on it for a proper heat transfer and dissipation. These are hefty blocks of aluminum where the CPU VCore heatsink measures 125 grams, while the SoC heatsinks measures around 79 grams. The VRM setup of this motherboard is a 4-phase VCore VRM on a 8+2 DRMOS power stage that can handle up to 50 amps of power. So running even a 3950X overclock should not be a problem. For our rear I/O, first we have a PS2 port followed by 2 USB 2.0 port, followed by 4 USB 3.2 Gen 1 USB port. We also have a clear CMOS button for those overclocker junkies, and an Intel Wi-Fi 6 AX200 as well as Bluetooth version 5.1. Then we have a DisplayPort 1.2 as well as HDMI 2.1 for those future Ryzen APUs. Next we have a 2.5 gig LAN by Realtek, followed by another USB, one Type A and one Type C, but now running at Gen 2 speeds. Then lastly, we got our audio ports from our Realtek ALC S1200A. And for the hidden feature of this board, surprisingly, this board supports Ryzen 1000 and 2000 CPUs and APUs. B550 motherboards shouldn't support these CPUs, but it seems Asus forgot to lock them out. And again, this proves that AMD is just artificially locking these CPUs out, as I haven't encountered any stability issues with my Ryzen 1600, and it seems I was able to overclock it better as compared to my ASRock AB350M Pro 4 motherboard. I also tested my Ryzen 5 2600 as well as my Ryzen 3 2200G, and both CPUs run well without any hiccups. Hopefully Asus doesn't patch this out, as I'm planning to use this board as my main Ryzen test bench as a replacement to my B350 board. Lastly, don't expect that I'll be doing an in-depth review of this board, as I lack certain things to do a comprehensive testings on this motherboard. So I think that is all for today's video. What do you think about B550 boards in general? Comment it down below, and don't forget to leave a like and as well as subscribe to my channel for more motherboard overviews like this. Once again, this is Brain of Junkyard Summit. Thank you and see you in the next one.